And we are recording. Yes, folks, we are recording the review of the last map we just did, which was called The Amazing Maze.
Shit!
Otherwise known as, to me, the 9 levels of hell. Because,
Boredom the map.
well, that's for Dread. Considering that he died a lot. Anyways, first impressions. Besides Dread, we know that you were bored as hell. That's
This map is a piece of shit.
to you. Okay? Your first impressions, it sucks. Everybody else, what'd you guys think? As no one says a word.
It has its things going for it, but it does have a serious problem.
And that is?
A very, very serious problem. And that is the lack of respawn rooms. Hero closets.
Yeah, that's true.
This map in particular is unbelievably cruel when it comes to just having any type of respawn whatsoever. I don't know if that's supposed to be to add a challenge, or if that's supposed to make the players feel bored. It would help if it's not bad enough that these challenges are very challenging, but now we got to deal with no respawns as well. Hell,
Right.
it's not even like a horror. They couldn't even include like a respawn back at the beginning of the level.
That is true. I will admit it needs something like that.
On top of that, it lies too much on platforming.
And a game not designed to platform. This isn't Half-Life. It may run Source, but it ain't no Half-Life.
It's definitely not Half-Life.
That is true. I can forgive it a little bit. The platforming wasn't incredibly hard. It was mainly a few rooms where platforming did become a little bit difficult. I understand this was more like a trial and error kind of thing, and everything is doable. I've seen worse in games. I can say even Mario, one of the greatest platformers, there is a game, Super Mario mod out there, literally changing that to the most difficult platforming game you could ever imagine. That's Kaizo Mario. Everybody's fucking heard of it at least once. In this, it's not completely bullshit platforming. It does need a little here touch-ups to make it a little bit easier. One of the maps is very disorienting, as in the spinning fucking room. I understand that might be the gimmick of this map. It might have that, and the Zelda music is quite nice, because technically it is a little bit of a Zelda fix to it. It does have some problem solving. Zelda never actually had any platforming, unless you go to the Game Boy games, which had the Rock's Feather. Or the Rock's Cape, if you want to go with Oracle of Seasons and Ages. But, yeah, this is not really designed for platforming. It's okay, it's doable, but it needs a little work.
Especially ascending. That shit, unless it's like a line connected, unless it's like a ramp that goes up and it's all connected together and you can just walk across it. That's the type of ascending you can do. You can't like jump your way up. That's fucking impossible.
Not necessarily. We did that a couple of times, and it's a lot. It wasn't like it was incredibly bad. It was just doable, barely doable at times.
Yeah, but you're still using an engine that's not really meant for platforming to begin with.
I understand that, but most first-person shooters are not meant to be platformers in the first place. I know a lot of games that just shouldn't ever use platforming.
And that's weird.
Go ahead. I understand platforming is one of the most well-known designs for a video game out there, and I like platformers. I've played platformers when I was a kid. I still play them every now and then. But when I played a first-person shooter, I don't mind problem solving. I just don't like platformers in my first-person shooter because it doesn't work so well. It's a little off-putting. It's really hard to actually do it because you almost have to be very accurate from where you jump. And plus, you have to have the momentum. This one relies heavily on momentum when you're jumping. Almost too heavily. So, yeah. Anything else to add?
Let's get straight to the review.
Okay.
Pouring in.
Alright. 5 stars max, 1 star minimum meta, you start. Same rotation. Number of infected, what'd you think?
0. Just 0. There was no thought put into what was purely puzzles. Were the infected challenging at times? When they were meant to be. But aside from that, there isn't really anything to the infected here.
Alright.
So, 0.
Alright. Kyo.
Well, I guess I can't really truly say that, actually, so I'm just going to give it a 1/4 of a star.
You already said 0, I'm gonna stick with that.
Oh, okay. Alright.
If you had pretty valid points to that, to make it a 0. You don't have to put it at a 1/4 if you don't want it there. Anyway, Kyo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 0 as well. The map isn't about the zombies at all.
True.
And really, it's Left 4 Dead. It's about the zombies.
Alright. I don't even know why I need to ask Dread, but Dread,
0.
I don't even need to ask him why. Actually, I hate to say it. I mean, I want to give it a 0 based on every other map we've ever played. It has to have common infected. It has to have specials. But going in, I knew what this map was going to be. I knew it from reading what it had. I knew it had nothing to do with the common. And this is the sad thing. I think it's actually the right amount for this map. Just for this map. So I'm actually going to give it a full star. Based on the fact it didn't need infected. It wasn't challenging with the infected. It had its moments, but it didn't need them. Which is weird because most maps we played that are like this, they had infected and it made more challenging. This map already was challenging prior to that. We were dying mostly at the puzzles, not at the infected. And if we did get hit with infected, it's because we're derping around, not paying attention. So I had to actually defend it on this, just for this campaign. It's sad. I hate doing that, but I have to be fair to the campaign too. Anyways, I know you guys disagree with me. Moving on. Length of campaign. I know someone exited, as in meta. Oh god, what the fuck happened? Okay, hold on. Technical difficulties, folks. Kyo, what'd you think about the length, though? It was over an hour.
The problem with this map is what it is. You fuck up once, and you're starting over, even if you have got in an hour into it.
Yeah.
And oh, I just feel like it's a bit too long, actually. I give it... It's just too long. It is too long. See, it's a platforming in an engine that doesn't support platforming. It's gonna fuck up the length. It's always gonna fuck up the length. Don't do that, because design fucks up length all the time. I'll give it a 1/4 star.
So, 1/4. We'll hold off on metas for now. He's having technical difficulties with his internet again. Dread.
0. It's way too long, and it drags out way too long.
He didn't even need to say it, because we already know. Again, I have to be fair to the map. I have to be fair, but at the same time, I'm going to give it a half. Main reason I say half is because it's really hard to judge time. Okay, so the reason I give it a half is, to be fair, the trials, we don't know what we're going into sometimes. So it might take a while for us to get through it. It might take trial and error to get through it. And I can forgive it, but it is artificial. It's a lot of artificial. And we don't even know how long the boss would have taken us. Because this is a boss map. And we've had problems with boss maps. They can take a long fucking time to kill, or they just don't die at all. Aquarius, we're looking at you. So I can see this map being like, well, I see this map being really, really long, but if you know what you're doing, and you know this map enough, you can get it done in about maybe an hour, maybe a little less, I figure. So, yeah. As for meta, he will not be in the rest. In fact, he's just telling me his scores. He gave it a 0 for time. He gives it a 0 for difficulty. He gives it a half star to design, and he gives it a half star for recommendations. So there's his scores. So for us, we'll continue ours, but meta, his technical difficulties, he doesn't want to deal with them tonight, so we'll let him go. Anyways, moving on to difficulty. Kyo, what'd you think about the difficulty?
Difficulty. Oh, that's kind of an interesting one to talk about now, isn't it? Because this is platforming, and I have to look at platforming instead of an actual what we normally talk about.
Yeah, that is true.
Platforming wise, it really is, for the average player, I'd say almost too hard. Almost all of it is way too hard for the average player.
Okay.
And that's what I want to grade it for, so I have to give it 0.
I shouldn't even bother asking Dread. It's 0, right?
0.
Let me guess, Dread, you're gonna give it a 0 all the way through?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure, so okay, if I have to write it down or not. Difficulty. Well, it gave us enough health, I'll give it that. Only problem with this map...
Health doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, I know, that's the problem. Health doesn't mean anything. You didn't give us guns, you didn't give us a variety of weapons, you started off with a sword, or you can keep your handgun, whichever you want to go with. You gave us pills, a lot of them, you gave us health packs when we needed them, but the problem is, fall damage is annoying. I mean, a lot of fall damage is annoying, and that's what's killed us most of the time. The fact that some of these platforms are really hard to do, specifically the very last platform with that spinning log, that is incredibly annoying. It's tedious. You need to fix that, make it slower, make it actually doable, because there was close calls, but they weren't going to get all the way through. What else? Some of them, based on timing jumps, that's not really hard, it's just tedious again. A lot of this stuff is tedious. Maybe having a checkpoint, like after you hit a specific point of each part, you should hold. Specifically, the jump ones or the platforming ones. It should be that way. It shouldn't be like, oh, you teleport from the very beginning, so you have to do all that shit again. So, I'll give it a 1/4 of a star. A lot of this hinders on just the platforming. It also hinders on the fact that there isn't a variety of weapons. The specials kind of spawn almost too frequently at one point, especially where I died and got when we were at the key area. There was two spitters plus a bunch of common plus a freaking hunter plus smoker plus all these specials, man, and they're popping everyone I'm killing. Everything I'm killing, I'll kill one thing, suddenly there's another common. I'll kill all the common around it, suddenly there's another special. Then there's another special. There's another one. That's way too frequently. There's no fucking reason there should be that frequently. You cannot make any excuse in any way possible. You should never have that many commons spawning every second. Because now you're just pissing off the player. And that's not what makes a good map. But other than that, the one big thing that does hurt this, and this was mentioned in the first impressions, the hero closets aren't there. There always should be a hero closet. Any map. I don't care what it is, there should be one at least. And if you don't have that, it's going to hurt any bit of difficulty you have. So, yeah, 1/4 of a star. Moving on, design. We already know meta's is 1/2 star. So, Keel, what'd you think about design?
It had good music. Skybox was one of those HD ones. Or high res, whatever you call it.
Well, I couldn't see it, so it was textureless for me.
Why is it that those high definition
I don't know.
always textureless for you?
I don't know. I really
But anyway.
don't. It's beside the point.
I think I want to agree with Meta on this one. It is 1/2 star.
Okay.
It's pretty-ish. It's a lot of browns and dark earth colors. But the music's good.
The music makes up for it, and to be honest, I'll actually have to say the design for basically the trials is not that bad. It's got a lot of good ideas to it. I'll give it that.
It just needs something, though.
It needs something, yeah. Dread, what do you want to give it?
1/4 for the music.
Something other than a 0. I'm already going to go out and say you want a 0 for the recommendations, right?
No, I got something else for that.
Is it negative 1/4?
You can't go negative, Dread. Just saying that right now. Alright. Design. I honestly did like the platforming ideas. I did like the Trail of Fire. That was a cool idea. I liked the ascending on that one platform and just trying to get through the holes. I loved a lot of the trials designs. Some of them are not implemented very well. Specifically, there's one with a pipe bomb. That one is really, really difficult at times. Because you gotta arc that fucking thing, and you don't know. It's really dark to see if there's where it's actually gated, so you have to get above that. I'll give it 3/4, only because I do like this map enough to where I would probably replay it just to beat it. After that, I probably wouldn't play it anymore. But the music alone, I love Zelda. You hit me when you got that Zelda music in it because you immediately got points for it. Plus, this map is very original. There's very few cases where we've seen original thoughts in maps. So, I'll give it a plus on there too. Moving on to recommendations. Meta, he gave it a 1/2 star. Why you give it a 1/2 star? Let me go check, because he did explain it. Let's see here. Where is he? There he is. His reasoning for giving it a 1/2 star is because if you're a person that likes playing puzzle platformers in Left 4 Dead, this would kind of go your way. You would probably enjoy this. That's his reason. So his overall rating is 1 out of 5. Keo, what do you want to give it for recommendation? Do you recommend it partially or what?
Yeah, I'll give it a quarter star.
Okay. Dread, I gotta hear this.
I give it a 16th of a star because this is the map you play when you don't want people to be your friends anymore.
Okay, he gave it 5/16 out of 100. Foul 5. I'll go with metas here. I give it half. It is really recommended if you guys like puzzle platformers. You'll enjoy this map. I probably give it. I give it the biggest amount of stars, obviously, because I
You're
gave it a
being
score.
too nice.
Well, yeah, but I'm also being fair to the map itself, what it's mainly designed to be. You guys are going it off of other maps. We haven't really played a map like this before. That's what I'm saying. It's really hard to judge it fairly. I think the closest we came to was, to be honest, last week's one. Only sadly, because last week's one was basically the same idea, except it had a campaign where you had infected to kill. This one was a puzzle. This also kind of goes into the fact that it was a lot like Resident Evil File Number 1. Had that puzzle aspect to it. Original
But Resident
thought.
Evil was actually interesting.
Well, yeah, and it felt right in theme. This one didn't necessarily have that theme. It just was more of a test of 9-level trials, and there's a boss at the end. The only reason I was being fair to this map is because it was kind of the first map we've actually encountered where it was a set of trials. Because every other map we have never really took a set of trials on, except for that one portal map that made us all crash at the very end. And we didn't even, I think we recorded that and I said fuck no, because it really fucked up our audio back then. And I didn't want to play it again. And that map we were actually being fair to as well. This one had that same feel, but it was done better than the last one. It actually, I don't know if we ever ran into any crashes. If we did, I didn't run into them. So let's see. Meta gave it a full star out of overall. Kale, you did the same. 5/16 for Dread because he was bored half the time, and well, obviously mine is highest score with.
I was having more entertainment playing my DS.
I gave it an average score of 3 out of 5. If you're a puzzle platformer fan, like I'm a little bit of, that's why I'm being fair with it. I like it. I will play it again. I do kind of say go for it, give it a try. This is one where you kind of have to pay attention and focus. If you're not focused, you're going to fuck up a lot, and it's going to make you hate the map. Pay attention, use the music to your advantage too, because that's kind of motivation. Especially if you like Zelda. And it's going to make the more map enjoyable than it probably would be too, such as Dread. Overall, I give it 3 out of 5. It's at least a 2-star. I'm gonna say that. So yeah. With that, since Meta obviously is not here and he can't be here because of internet problems, I have to do his thing. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our videos. We enjoy your feedback. To the creators of these maps, please PM us if you want to comment on the video. That's up to you. If anybody else, they can comment. They can say what we need to do better, what we shouldn't do. Because we need that feedback. It helps us make the videos better. And if you want to, you can request a map for us to do if we haven't done it already. To the creators, you also, if you have another map that you want us to try, we'll do it. Unless we've already done it, we'll tell you, of course. Yeah, so anything else you guys want to add?
No.
Well, I knew you
No.
wouldn't say anything, Dread. Okay, with that, we'll see you later.